Dr. Ben Carson, who is the new right-wing obsession, is going to go on The View here and spread some serious misinformation about welfare recipients. And listen to Whoopi Goldberg bust him up after.
I just wanted to say, you said something that I agree with, is that giving able-bodied people handouts rather than requiring that they work for pay is every bit as cruel as activities practiced by racists of the past. Correct. And I mean, do you believe that the welfare system is racist?
Well, let me put it this way. When you rob someone of their incentive to go out there and improve themselves, you are not doing them any favors. When you take somebody and pat them on the head and say, there, you poor little thing, I'm going to give you food stamps, I'm going to give you a house. Well, wait a minute. Let me finish the thought.
Yeah, finish the thought.
Okay, let me give you housing subsidy, let me give you free health care, and because you can't do that. And it's those people over there that's causing you to have your... Wait a minute.
We got to do it quick because we're all to wrap. So.
Okay, so what would be much more empowering is to use our intellect and our resources to give those people a way up and out.
May I just...
I agree.
Okay. Let me just speak to this before we go. As a former welfare mother, very few people want to be on welfare. Very few want to walk with their kids and take food stamps in there. Most people would rather work. Now, I don't feel bad about being a welfare mother because I contribute as an American. That's what we do.
Whoopi is only 1 zillion% right. I mean, the idea that everybody on welfare is living the good life and they want to be on welfare, that is a total myth, okay? Most social safety net programs, I don't know if you know this, they have time limits on them or requirements attached to them. So they're geared and structured towards limiting any kind of abuse. And by the way, if abuse did exist, the fraud rates in the programs would be through the roof. But as we've discussed on this show many times before, according to a USDA study, the food stamp fraud rate, which is just one example, is only 1%. So it's a myth that, there's rampant abuse and people are just taking advantage of the system because, they live the good life when they get a couple $100 a month from the government to live their entire life. I mean, what a joke, as if that's something that I aspire to do that. Very, very few people actually say, fuck it, I'm going to try to do that for the rest of my life. But Carson is full of shit anyway, because as he's passionately arguing against having a social safety net, quote, Carson, in his book, tells how his grades improved tremendously when a government program provided him with free eyeglasses because he could barely see. He says, quote, by the time I reached 9th grade, Mother had made such strides that she received nothing but food stamps. She couldn't have provided for us and kept up the house without that subsidy. Whoa. So your mother took food stamps, you praised food stamps as allowing you to get by when times were rough, and now you want to take it away from other people? Unbelievable. So how does he do that? How does he demonize a program that helped him and his mother? It doesn't make sense, right? Crooks and Liars explains, quote, Carson has an excuse as to why the situation with his mother is completely different from the situation with everyone else currently on welfare. He says, quote, the culture was different then. I think there was a time when people were not proud of taking handouts. There were more people who did have that drive and determination. You do what you have to do. So in other words, you understand what his argument is? No. I'm special. She's special. We're different. We're not like everybody else who's on those social safety net programs. Don't you get it? They're parasites. They're moochers. They're lazy. It's the culture. They're bad people. But me, when I took it, when my mother took it, no, we were good people. And this is the thinking right here, man. This is the thinking that can only come out of a conservative Republican's head. It's the idea that we are above it all, that we are the good people by definition, so if we need to rely on the government for a brief period of time, well, it's totally justified. It makes perfect sense. But if somebody else needs to do it, how dare you? Here's some fucking bootstraps. Pull yourself up by them. Get your shit together. Unbelievable hypocrisy. And this is why I have no respect for the right today, because the right wing in the United States, they're a joke. It's not like, oh, there's just a difference of opinion and we could hash it out. If we were living in Britain, yeah, maybe you could have a conversation with a right winger. Maybe they're more reasonable because they're not totally up their own ass. They believe in science. They believe in facts, right? Conservatives in certain nations are like that, certain places in Europe specifically. Maybe Canada too, although I'm not sure. But in the U.S., no. The right wing is just a whole fucking another thing. Like, not even worth having a conversation with them. They're fucking liars. They're fucking hypocrites. And just the fact, the point that he says, well, look, giving them handouts as opposed to a hand up, that's messed up, man. That one could argue that's even racist. But what about the fact that there's no jobs? See, they don't even accommodate for stuff like that, like little facts like that. Like, oh, these guys should just get a job. But they can't get a job, which is why we need the social safety net programs. You do know that there's 3 people for every 1 job opening, right? So even in a perfect world, if everybody woke up tomorrow and said, I'm going to work as hard as I can, gosh golly, there would still be unemployed people, and we would still need a social safety net. They're just so stupid.